In Italy, the money from the Recovery and Resilience Fund goes to the multinational pharmaceutical companies, which have already earned billions of euros from European public money thanks to the policies to combat COVID pandemics and to the contracts stipulated after secret negotiations between the CEOs of these companies and the President of the European Commission. But what is disconcerting is the suspicious involvement of President von der Leyen in the management of the Italian PNRR, the National Recovery and Resilience Plan. Hear this story to know why I'm going to ask to President Ursula von der Leyen to resign. Thanks to the report of the lawyer Olga Milanesi, I carried out a brief research and became aware of a truly scandalous and disconcerting situation. Behind a high-sounding name, a national research center called the Development of Gene Therapy and Drugs with RNA Technology, and with the precious protective mantle of one of the oldest universities in the world, the University of Padua, a group of people seems to have guaranteed some big pharma companies have access to huge amounts of the Italian Recovery and Resilience funds managed by the Ministry of Education, University and Research. This is easily verifiable by anyone because all data I'm going to tell you about can be freely consulted on the University of Padua website and on the MIUR website dedicated to PNRR funds. But let's go in order. The National Research Center Development of Gene Therapy and Drugs with RNA Technology is legally a foundation that, as we read on the website of the University of Padua, respecting its non-profit and participatory nature, aims at the creation and renewal of research infrastructures and laboratories, the creation and development of research programs and activities, also with the involvement of private subjects, to favor the birth and growth of entrepreneurial initiatives with a higher technological content, innovative startups and spin-offs from research, and aimed at enhancing research results in the specified areas. The University of Padua is the proponent and leader of this project, which sees the light on 8 June 2022 in Padua with the signing of the deed of incorporation in the rectorate of the Palazzo del Bo in the presence of the notary Todeschini Premuda and the sole director, Professor Rosario Rizzuto. In record time, a few days later, the newborn National Research Center immediately gets its satisfaction. On June 15, the Minister of University and Research, Maria Cristina Messa, presents the 5 national research centers to the Council of Ministers in the supply chain provided by the so-called From Research to Business component of the Education and Research Mission of the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, provided with 1.6 billion euros. Among those 5 centers, there is just the newborn center in Padua, winning 320 million euros of the recovery funds for the development of therapeutic solutions and treatments in the health sector, with particular reference to the gene therapies and for development of selective drugs through RNA technologies. On MIUR website, we can read that the investments will be used to hire researchers and staff to devote to research, of which at last 40% are women, to create and renovate the infrastructures and the research laboratories, to create and develop programs and activities of research dedicated to the 5 themes, to encourage the birth and growth of entrepreneurial initiatives with a higher technological content, such as startups and spin-offs from research, to enhance their results. All of this is wonderful, except that the whole project, besides being well scientifically addressed, seems just to be tailor-made to finance the research work of the multinational pharmaceutical companies that during the COVID-19 pandemic earned about $1,000 per second by the sale of RNA vaccines. The evidence is all in the papers of the ministry, which for the project proposed by the University of Padua lists among the participants many big names in the pharmaceutical sector, as Pfizer, AstraZeneca, BioNTech and Dompé. Among the partners also stands out Orgenesis, an American biotechnology company which has played a leading role in the creation of gene therapy vaccines, mRNA ones, mainly produced by Pfizer and Moderna. In this company, the husband of the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, Heiko von der Leyen, operates in a managerial role. And listen to me well, in the project financed by MIUR through the Italian recovery funds, Orgenesis carves out a leading role, placing its own medical director in the supervisory board of the Paduan Foundation. That is just Heiko, the husband of the President of the European Commission. Pay attention, according to the statute of the Center, the Supervisory Board is the true management body of the Foundation that has the power to strategically plan the budget. According to these documents, therefore, we have 320 million euros from European funds, which will be actually managed for the use and consumption of the biggest pharmaceutical multinationals, whose headquarters are outside Europe, the same ones that have earned multi-billion-dollar profits selling vaccines all over the world thanks to mysterious contracts as advantageous for them as disadvantageous for EU member states, concluded with the President of the European Commission, wife of the medical director of Orgenesis. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that there is ground enough here to start at least a judicial investigation, both by the Italian and the European judiciary authorities, for suspicious fraudulent use of EU funds. And I also think that after the slew of scandals that are coming to light, starting with the revelations a few days ago by Pfizer's representative about the usual system of off-records negotiations between multinationals and the EU Commission, in blatant and repeated violation of European rules on transparency, to the never declared conflict of interest of President von der Leyen, whose husband sits in the board of a company that has enormously benefited from the European regulations proposed by the Commission she presides over, ending with the inclusion of the President's husband in the board of that manages a foundation created ad hoc to intercept large sums from European recovery funds. Well, time has come for Ursula von der Leyen to resign from her post and eventually respond to the requests for clarification that will be placed on her by the European Parliament in the first place and by the competent judicial authorities then. Thank you for following me so far. Please share this video if you want that people know what's going on in Italy and the EU. Thank you.